Going to try something different. This is a roll in short. We're going to be talking about very briefly the Navy SEAL who helped kill bin Laden, fuming over drag queen ambassador. I quote, "I can't believe I've fought for this bullshit," says the Navy SEAL. A decorated Navy SEAL veteran, reported by New York Post, who was a part of the mission that killed Osama bin Laden, has spoken out against the Navy's new drag queen recruitment campaign, saying, quote, "I can't believe I fought for this bullshit." Former U.S. Navy SEAL Team 6 member Robert J. O'Neill took to Twitter Wednesday morning to share his disapproval of the Navy's hiring of an active duty drag queen to help recruit the most talented and diverse workforce for the military branch. I wonder why they're having to turn to such people. Quote, "All right, the U.S. Navy is now using an enlisted sailor drag queen as a recruiter. I'm done. China is going to destroy us. You got this, Navy? I can't believe I fought for this bullshit," close quote. O'Neill wrote to his 600,000 followers. O'Neill's comments were targeted at Yeoman Second Class Joshua Kelly, the first of 5 new, quote, digital ambassadors for a new program the Navy piloted from October to March. Kelly, who identifies as non-binary and goes by the stage name Harpy Daniels, has shared their journey of being a non-binary drag queen with the Navy through their Instagram and their TikTok accounts. Quote, "Thank you to the Navy for giving me this opportunity. I don't speak for the Navy." Oh, you will soon enough. Happily, they will have you speaking for them. "But simply sharing my experience in the Navy. Hoo-yah, and let's go. Slay," Daniels said in November Post. And there's the old Robert O'Neill, the white guy who is not happy about and this is what you should take away from this, the white erasure of Western norms. The things that white people project onto the world are our norms, our expectations for behavior, our expectations for relationships between men and women, expectations for how men and women are supposed to behave, expectations for how those in combat roles need to comport themselves for combat. Kelly was an ambassador of a program, quote, designed to explore the digital environment to reach a wide range of potential candidates, close quote, as the Navy battles, quote, the most challenging recruiting environment it has faced since the start of the all-volunteer force, close quote. And then it says a Navy spokesperson told Fox News. So, I mean, right there, the spokesperson thing, which I don't mind terribly instead of spokesman. But this, again, is what I was just speaking to. The reason why the Navy is facing, in my unhumble opinion, these challenges in all the branches of the military, they're measuring their current ability to recruit and to invigorate and stimulate and drive men, which is, in my opinion, what it would come down to, into harm's way. They're measuring it by the most recent measurements. And if you go, the further you go back, in my opinion, you find it's only getting worse. The reason why is because of anti-whitism. The population is taught that it is utterly immoral to be patriotic, to be nationalistic, to love this country, to define this country the way the Westmen created it, the way the Westmen created the patriotism, the way the Westmen created the love of country, that which we love. All of that now is immoral, according to the anti-white narrative. And so there aren't any patriots. That country has been killed. That country has been defeated. And now we live in the rotting carcass. So very few people want to volunteer to go in and fight for something. I mean, you saw this big surge of people after September 11 that were left. It was like the remnants of those who still love, who still feel the duty. And there are still plenty of those people in America, but fewer and fewer all the time. And so then who do they have to recruit from? If they can't draw people from the mass of the population that feel that the country is theirs, because the country isn't theirs anymore. It doesn't belong to white people anymore. It isn't defined by white people anymore. In fact, it's defined antithetically. It's defined in a way to insult, to destroy, to white erase. Everything in this country is retributive justice against Western kind. The people who create Western civilization, in my humble opinion. And as a consequence, the Navy has to turn to those who are the angels, the angelized groups, those who are touted as victim groups, but who undoubtedly, and everywhere you turn an application, are privileged groups. They are turning to these individuals. And here is not one of those individuals. This is the former Navy SEAL, O'Neill, who, take a good look at that face, because that is what is necessary to hold the jungle back so that you can have your goddamn nursery room in Western civilization, ladies of both sexes. That is the face that is needed to be on the front line. If you don't have men like that, that look just like that, your little nursery room in the West dies. And so instead, they turn to this. And this is not going to be able to protect you from squat, in my opinion. No, in fact, all over the West, we see that this wants access to your children so that they can educate your children, so that they can dance for your children, so that they can dance with your children at libraries, at schools. It's a fascinating thing, because ask not why individuals like this, or why children shouldn't be allowed to see individuals like this, but why individuals like this want to be with your children. But do you know how we got here as we wrap up on this roll-in short? We got here, of course, by way of anti-whitism, incrementally, one step at a time. But here you have on the AUSN, Association of United States Navy, back in 21, beginning of 21, a voice for officers and sailors of the United States. And I read from that article, the Navy released a new policy in June that lets transgender sailors serve openly and details the process sailors can use to transition to a different gender during service. The guidance is based on a Defense Department instruction released earlier this year on transgender service. The instruction effectively reversed the Trump administration, which imposed hurdles to transgender service in the name of maintaining, quote, the highest standards necessary to achieve maximum readiness, deployability, and lethality, close quote. My friends, therein lies the problem. The conservatives are going to make arguments, the Republican voters are going to make arguments that we can't be cohesive and we can't be a fighting force that is maintaining its readiness if we are concerned with these people who want to transition or these people who want to live as the other sex while they are in service. We can't maintain this fighting readiness. And then, as long as they can do the job, inevitably, the Hannities, just like saying, well, you can't get to the children who are 18 or younger, and then you can't get to those who are 15 or younger, and then you can't get to those who are 9 and younger, and then you can't get to those who are 5 and younger. It is nothing but retreat. You see, when you don't address the anti-white elephant in the room, which is that this all targets Western kind, because it is the norms of Western kind, the expectations for behavior, the mores of the West that are white erased, that are attacked, when instead you find that distasteful to defend where you are attacked, and instead you want to talk about cohesiveness and fighting readiness, it's very easy then for the anti-whites to simply say, well, they can be ready to fight. They can act as a cohesive unit. They can, back in 21, transition and continue to function in the military. Why? Because we will just change the definition of what cohesiveness and fighting readiness means. You see, folks, if you don't defend where they attack, you simply lose. Roll out.